Hello everyone and welcome to The Consuming Shadow, and today I thought there was going to be more D4. Turns out the two chapters appears to be all that there is. Now there might be some kind of fuckery about that. I need to play around with it a little bit more, but unfortunately I've been starved for time, and so this time it's going to be a bit of a filler thing. So we're going to play a game that I actually really like, a game that is one of those things not many people necessarily know about. That is, of course, The Consuming Shadow by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw, who of course is best known for being a game reviewer for The Escapist and for his Zero Punctuation series. So this is one of the... I think this is his first actual, like, game that you have to pay money for, his first non-freeware game. And made in Game Maker, which is actually a software that I'm learning to use. So I've actually played quite a lot of this because I do like it, and I'm probably actually going to do a giveaway, giving away a couple of keys to this. So basically, the default character, the only character you start out with, the Scholar. Basically, the idea is it's a Lovecraftian end of the world, and you need to prevent it. So with the Scholar, which is the default, you have a car, a gun, and you've got 60 hours. Then there's the Scholar, or not the Scholar, the Wizard, who is a spellcaster. Then there's the Warrior, who is a melee character. Then there's the Ministry Man, who has a severely cut down time limit, but has extensive resources. So we're going to play just a little bit. We're not going to play, not necessarily even full game. So already we've got a way to end the game. So we can take the easy way out right in the beginning, but this is also a mechanic that appears later on in the game. So we've got a little bit of an attribute thing, which is due to the fact that I've played this a couple of times. I've leveled up this character enough that I get slight bonuses to the start. So we've got all sorts of additional stats. For example, sanity, health, car speed, more sanity again, research, which actually can be very useful, and we shall dump the rest into random equip chance. Let's go with that. So basically, the idea with the game is it's a Cthulhian. Not necessarily Cthulhian, it's a Lovecraftian thing, end of the world situation, set in Britain. And one of the interesting ideas with the game is that, as stated by Yahtzee, the Shadow has a definite foothold in Forehill, and it's going to make its move soon. Okay, so every playthrough is actually canon. So the idea is that it plays around with a little bit with parallel realities and parallel dimensions. So every playthrough, no matter do you succeed, do you fail, no matter how you succeed, no matter how you fail, is in some way canonical. So basically, when you go into cities or towns, there's going to be a couple of things can happen. One, it can be a completely normal town, in which case you can just get resources. And two, is there might be something weird going on. And this is one of those moments where there's something weird going on. So we do a little bit of... we pry more in. Let's see... melee attack control, right? Okay, cool. So... this is the main meat of the game, and this is the dungeon exploration. Now the dungeons are, I think, created procedurally, and this is a kind of a roguelike. we go. Armor-piercing bullets. It's always nice. So the idea with the game is you have very limited resources, and it is indeed. It's quite a difficult roguelike game. Oh, found keys, which means I actually didn't even have to go into that room. I can just go in here because it connects. There we go. Important part of the banishment mantra is to encounter the rune of the creature you intend to banish, and the third syllable of the mantra. So the third syllable of the mantra is the name of the creature we're trying to banish. Now we don't know what the creature is that we're trying to banish, which of the elder gods it is. And an important part of the situation is that you can absolutely try to banish the wrong one. So even though, to draw the symbol of Cthulhu in red is an insult, because Cthulhu hates the god associated with the color red. So you can build this kind of profile of who you are trying to banish. So for example, let's just go. We know that there's a god who is red, and then we know that there's a Cthulhu, and we don't know what their agenda is, we don't know what their rune is, we just know that this is Cthulhu is one of the ones that we're dealing with, and that there is a god whose symbol is drawn in red. And this is a spellcasting situation, so we've got 5 runes, and we can cast the runes, and the casting system actually, on a mouse and keyboard, it actually does work quite well. You actually don't even really need the cursor serves no real purpose. But it is there to kind of help navigate. This game does actually also have full controller support, and works really well with a controller. The casting is slightly different, naturally, because then the casting is done with a twin stick control. Actually, it's not even done with a twin stick control, it's just done with a stick control instead of clicking. Still something. Oh yeah, didn't check the filing cabinet. Yeah. The more I chanted Xbti Ang, the more my mind expanded. So I've now learned a spell which is called Clairvoyance. Now the thing with spells is I've got 2 stats. I've got 2 attributes. I've got health and I've got sanity. If I cast spells as the standard character, the standard scholar, I will lose sanity. And the same thing also happens if I run away from monsters and various other situations. So if I lose my sanity, I'm going to start experiencing side effects. I start going slowly mad, I start seeing enemies where there are none, stuff like that. So we've investigated there. We might as well head to Waterborough and then try to get to Finhill. So the other thing is, on the road things can happen. You can run into situations where you need items to get the best result, or you can receive text messages. Text messages can either be good or bad, so every time you choose to open one, you stand a chance of either gaining or losing sanity. You can actually even gain money from them. Not massive amounts, but enough that it makes sense. Return to car. Let's see. So we've got 7 hours to make it into Forehill, and we know that there is an enemy operation there. So we know that that is a place that we might want to go to. Currently, we're kind of low on health, so what we can do is we can look to the side, and we can expend quite a lot of our supplies. But we can spend an hour trying to find some additional. So, for example, we've got a pentagram necklace, which is an actual item that you can equip. You can equip 3 items, and not only are they context sensitive sometimes, but they also serve a purpose. For example, the pentagram halves sanity loss from spellcasting. Very useful for the scholar, but then again, if you do with the mage character, you don't really need it. However, what we need is additional ammunition. The unfortunate thing being, there we go, yeah, everything's set correctly. A little bit more sanity. So, a random event. As I stop briefly at the junction, a harassed-looking young man in rumpled clothing runs to my window and pleads for a ride between laboured breaths. We shall let him in. Well, that was a mistake. So, our car got stolen and damaged, but we've regained our car, but it can no longer go at the top speed. I am brought to the problematic area and told the payment will be... Okay, so... another dungeon situation. Find and exterminate the large creature. How pleasant. And you can always see the ticking clock up there, and I think that's a very kind of interesting and nice... just a little reminder that things are awful. Dusted. And one of the things is, this game does actually have money. Biala is the god of fear. That's interesting. That's good to know. So this actually does have an economic system as well, and a lot of time you can find random jewelry, stuff like that, in containers, and basically the method at which you determine how expensive or how valuable something is you do the... A body lies at my feet, their arms and hands are ruined, fingers either broken or missing, as if they were clawing madly at something. So the way you determine something's... Oh, fuck! The Roitov. Okay, so spell learned, dungeon completed. So Circle of Death is Kizshm, and that is one of the combat spells. There's also a spell that allows you to see fully in the dark. There's also equipment that allows you to see fully in the dark. And one of the things that you will end up balancing is how your sanity stays up. So, we've found a lucky charm, which increases the amount of loot that we can find. Which is good because we've just regained more 9mm ammo. So, basically you've got 2 methods of combat. You can either shoot things or you can beat things. For most situations, shooting is the best way to go, unless you actually learn how to punch at the right moment. And there we go. Ooh. And if the sanity does drop to a certain level, you can use illegal drugs to increase your sanity, either permanently or Lanro. I suppose we can make it to there. But so in very short form, this is Consuming Shadow. It's €10 or I think maybe £7-ish pounds. Well, it's €10 or your local equivalent on Steam. And it is indeed. It's a roguelike set in a kind of Cthulhian mythos that has you fail in spectacular fashions to save the world from the coming of the Elder Gods. And it gets my full recommendation. Again, sorry for the kind of filler episode of a video, but I was unfortunately a little bit let down by Swery and D4. So it seems that there is no additional information about the game, or there's no additional content to the game. I have heard that they are working on the second season. However, who knows where that will go. So please join me again on Wednesday when we go into a proper series. Not quite sure what that will be. I might go back and I might actually do a point and click for a change, and but we will see. So, as always, thank you for joining, and remember to like, share, favourite, subscribe, all that stuff. And for now, goodbye.